Hey guys, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a hat in my house. Well, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here watching my video, and thank you, I appreciate it. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between determinate and indeterminate tomato plants. Now, if you've been gardening for a while or you've watched a lot of gardening videos, you probably already know what these terms mean, but I just want to make a video, explaining it. Maybe you'll learn something new, maybe you won't, but hopefully it's somewhat helpful. Determinate tomato plants basically are generally more bushy plants. They generally don't get as tall. And what happens is the plant produces like pretty much all its flowers at once. So say I plant my tomato plant, then 2 months later, it might have like a huge flood of flowers on the plant. And those are going to turn into tomato fruit. And all the tomatoes are basically going to ripen within the same kind of time frame. So that's essentially what a determinate tomato plant is. Indeterminate tomato plants, on the other hand, are basically plants that keep growing, keep getting taller, and they really don't stop until the frost kills them. That's why indeterminate tomato plants are also called vining types. They just keep growing like a vine. They're not that bushy. That being said, they are going to bush out if you don't prune them, but generally they're a lot taller, a lot bigger. Another key thing about indeterminates is they produce their fruit kind of on a steady basis throughout the season, unlike the determinants, which produce fruit pretty much all within the same time frame. Generally, if you look at any heirloom varieties, those are usually indeterminates. All right, so I think I've pretty much explained indeterminate versus determinate pretty well. So determinates are great if you want to, have a bunch of tomatoes all at once, and say you wanted to do some canning or something like that, where you just need like a massive amount of tomatoes within the same time. Determinates are going to be your best bet. But if you just enjoy tomatoes for fresh eating, definitely indeterminates are going to fit the bill because they're going to be producing pretty consistently throughout the season until the frost hits. It really just depends, if you want to be eating tomatoes continuously or have a lot all at once. And another thing that you need to consider with determinates versus indeterminate tomato plants is how much space do you have? Because generally determinates take up a lot more space in the garden just because they have that more bush-like structure. I just want to try to explain myself a little better here. When I say that determinates are going to take up more space in the garden, this is just assuming that you don't prune, which you should not do with determinate tomato plants, as determinate tomato plants only put out a set number of flowers. So ultimately, pruning a determinate tomato plant to save space would decrease the number of tomatoes you would actually get. Whereas indeterminates, you can prune heavily down to a single stem, which is basically you just take off all the suckers, every single sucker, and you can train it up a trellis or a stake or something like that. So definitely if you have a really small space, I would suggest indeterminates pretty much. That being said, for container plants, I would definitely recommend determinates. So if you live, say, in an apartment and you want to grow a pot of tomatoes, I would highly suggest growing a determinate just because they don't grow that tall. They're not that vigorous. Well, some of them can be vigorous, but they're not as vigorous as the big indeterminates. So what do I grow in my garden? Well, I like to grow a mix. Now, sometimes it's hard to decide which is better, if I like indeterminates or determinates better. So in that case, I just grow a mixture, say maybe grow half indeterminates, half determinates. And that way, if you grow both types, you're going to be getting the best of both worlds, and you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So I hope you like this video. This is just kind of an informal video. Sometimes I just want to get a video out there real quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time editing because sometimes it takes me a really long time to edit videos. Like my last video, the growing mangoes hydroponically video. That one took me the whole day to edit. So sometimes I just want to get some content out, and I'm going to be trying to do some more of these type of videos if you guys like that. I'm definitely going to be making a lot more, involved and edited videos. But, from time to time, I might throw in a video like this just to kind of, get my message across and just to get something out there for you guys. Good luck with your gardens. Let me know how everything's going. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. I will be replying to those comments as soon as possible. I'm Lucas from LucasGrowsBest, and as always, grow it best. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I'm out.